Good morning, good morning. I'm Elizabeth Pritchard.
And I'm Christine Burns, and we're from Authentic Leadership Training Institute, coming to you today for your Monday Momentum Builder.
Yes, welcome.
Now, today is looking at your Monday Momentum Builder to kick off your Monday, kick off your week with huge amounts of energy, inspiration, awesome thoughts.
Yes.
And so what we're looking at today is taking back your power.
Yes, now this is a really interesting area that we do at Authentic Leadership Training Institute.
Yes.
And what it is about how to be your authentic self within every situation. So when we mention power, we're not talking about fight. We're not talking about power over people. We're talking about taking your power back. And often as a woman, I find that there are situations where there are times when I think, oh, I'm not quite as good as that person, or times when situations happen or events happen and I doubt myself. And I think, oh, I don't think I have the skills to step up and do this. Now, one situation that I experienced at some stage in my career was when a person who was my manager was coming through with, well, actually it was sort of second and third hand things, you know how things happen in a team. So I was hearing things about something that happened via the grapevine. And it was coming back to me, and I was getting a little bit disturbed about this, and I was thinking, oh, is that what that person is saying about something that happened about what I did? And why aren't they coming to me? Because, you know, as a good leader, manager, we go to the source of the situation and we say, hey, what's happening? And tell me where things are at, and let me understand more about what's happening here. Because we always have one side that comes through to us. And so it was a situation like this, and I remember that I was feeling a little bit intimidated by this person because they were in a role where they were a little bit higher than myself within the pecking order, so to speak, within the workplace. And I was feeling like, oh, I can't really go to them and say that I'm not very happy about this, and I can't really go to them and want to clear up something with them. And I realised that what I was doing was I was actually giving my power as a woman, my power as a person, my power in the role of what I was doing, I was giving that over to them. And I was basically saying, here I am, stomp on me, do whatever you like. Which is pretty harsh, but this is what we're actually talking about in authentic leadership. When we have these situations and we find that we're putting ourselves on the back foot, often because of what's going on in our heads. And it's not a great situation because we're giving our authentic power to someone else and saying, you can dictate what happens and you can do whatever you do. Now, I'm not talking about usurping management. I'm not talking about that at all. I am talking about taking your authentic power, your strength, your determination, your ability to be you, and use that for good.
Yeah. And when we talk about power, in that sense of being in those situations, you can't control how someone else is going to respond.
No.
You can't jump into it in that situation and try and smooth things over, because it's their response, their reaction to you. You're the one that has gone, okay, I'm going to step up, I'm going to take control of the situation for myself, and I'm going to be assertive positively for me. So you cannot, we cannot, no one can jump in and make a difference to how that person reacts or responds. So it's not about fighting the fight.
No.
It's not about jumping into battle and go head to head with the person. It's about you saying and doing what you need to take your power back for you, and remembering all of that time. And part of the thing that gives you that foundation as well is that you cannot control how that other person responds or reacts to the situation. You're stepping up to do what you need to for you.
Yes.
What they do, how they do it, is totally up to them. It's nothing to do with you in that respect.
Yeah. And it's a really good point to remember, because what happened in this situation was that I needed to say something to this person to clear things up from my perspective. It wasn't to sit there and to point the finger of blame. It wasn't there to accuse others. It wasn't there to feel guilt or shame or anything like that. But it was to go, here's the situation. I understand there's a bit of concern around here. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm where I come from.
Yeah.
This is what I'm intending, and I would really appreciate it when or if you could blah.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the solutions. The overall solution for dealing with this and taking your power back is to be confident, to approach this person with positive, assertive language and provide a solution. So it's not going in there and saying, stop it, I don't like it. It's not going in there and having a tantrum saying, he said, she said, you said, they said.
Nope.
It's not about that.
No.
Because that's when you get back into that fight again, like Christine was talking about.
Yeah.
It's about standing up for yourself within. And it's not to attack another person. It's to find some way of being real for yourself and being true to yourself, being your authentic self.
Yeah.
So there's 3 ways that you can be confident, approach the person and use assertive language with a solution. There's 3 ways or 3 things that you need to go through to get there.
Yeah. One of the first things to look at is actually recognise the situation and recognise that you are actually giving away your power. And this may seem, that may come across as a bit of a negative in a way, but you have to actually just recognise the situation. So all you're doing is calling it as is. What am I doing in this situation at this point in time? If I carry on thinking, doing, being the same that you are in that situation, I am giving my power away to that person. And so that needs to be recognised. It's not the thing of you, it's what is happening in this situation. So recognise, state the facts are, and it's just data, it's just information, power from me is being given away to that person. And then you identify then how you can start moving forward from things. So just recognise it as is. I am giving my power away to that person. And when you can recognise that, when you realise that is actually what you are doing, then you can start going backwards and identifying, okay, how can I change this situation? How can I feel safer? How can I feel more in control of things? What can I do then to change what's going on in my top 6 inches, which is here?
Yes. And within that, I remember a pertinent moment when I was walking for coffee with somebody during this situation, and I was walking down the road, and it was like, oh my gosh, I was so sort of scared of that person, and it was like, I wasn't sure how they were going to react, and it was like, oh no. And then I remember doing the next thing, and this is how we got through to the second thing about how you can get through to a positive solution. The second thing I did was I put my big girl undies on. It was hard. I put my big girl undies on. I prepared something to say, and I went in from a heart space of compassion and love.
Yes.
So I didn't go in with the fight, battle, how dare you, anger, resentment. I didn't go in with that intention and from that space. I went in from a heart space of going, this is me, I deserve to be heard, and I need to be heard about this. It's not about excuse making, it's not about who's to blame. I deserve to be heard, and I went in with a prepared small speech, and I said, excuse me, have you got some time? I just wanted to clarify something, and I said, this is what I've heard, I'm not sure what the stories is around it, this is the events that led up to this is what I did, this is why I did it, and I would really appreciate if you had any concerns in the future that you'd come to me first and have a chat. Thanks so much for hearing me out, and I got up and walked out. And what that did was that helped me to be myself. And it didn't matter what came back.
Exactly.
That person could have yelled and screamed and ranted and raved. Doesn't matter. That person could have been gobsmacked and sat there speechless.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. That person could have got nasty, they could have got nice, they could have got embarrassed, they could have totally ignored the whole situation. That doesn't matter, because like you were saying, Christine, the response is not is not our
it's not your concern, it's
or concern.
Yeah. And you don't need to take it on, and I guess in that respect it's the thing of, rather than saying don't take it on, because you don't have to take it on, but it's that thing of thinking about, okay, what have I just done? How have I just stepped up here? I have done this. Here's my information, my data. You give it to that person and you hold strong in it, and you stand tall, you stand up with that confidence in yourself and knowing that you have been positively assertive, you have positive body language, you have positive language that you use, and you're doing it from that absolute heart space that Elizabeth was saying. It's that deep inside heart space that you're going in there wanting a solution. You're not going in there to battle.
No.
So however they decide to respond or react to you, you stay true to yourself, and that's the point there, is to say, okay, I'm confident with what I've said, here's what I need to deliver, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And you slowly, with ease and grace, remove yourself from the situation, because you were the one that has gone in there to change things. You've delivered what you needed to, and then
you've done.
you depart the premises.
And it's just so empowering to get your power back and to give that to yourself, because we give it away. We let people
give it away
snaffle
too
it and
often.
take it,
Yeah.
and we give it away. So this is how you can take your power back.
Yeah.
You can recognise that you're giving it away to start with. You can put your big girls undies on, big boy undies on, whatever, and you can prepare what you're doing and have a conversation, a courageous conversation, by putting yourself first, by putting yourself forward. Take your power back and release yourself from the response.
Yep.
And that's cool.
And the thing is that it made the situation, so the end point of this is you are taking back your power, regardless of what happens. Whether they say, no, blah, 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 or whether you end up working together really nicely. Sometimes it can actually be to that point where you've taken your power back and think, you know what, this is no longer for me. This is not an environment, a situation I want to be in. And you have only got to that point because you have taken back your power. So one of the key things to think about then is, when you take back your power, it's not always going to be that you're going into these situations to smooth things over and to work together. There's not always going to be that same level kind of response. You're not going to go, oh wow, that was an awesome resolvement of whatever had happened, okay, let's carry on. Sometimes it's going to be that you get the confidence back, you get your power back, and you think, you know what, this is it. I have now just realised at this space and time that this is when I do something different in this total situation. So sometimes you are actually going to leave the situation. It's not always going to be an equal resolvement and go, okay, now we happy clappy work together and carry on, because sometimes it's not it.
Yeah.
And that's a realisation to get to.
Yeah. And I think it all comes down to being authentic.
Yeah.
And to being from that heart space of, I need to do what is good and right and true from my values, my beliefs, my understanding, and be confident with what I do, recognise where I am, put my big girl undies on, prepare, detach from the response, because I'm not responsible for them, I'm only responsible for myself.
Definitely.
So if you want more help with this, we can contact us, we can help you how to take your power